today. What's up, Amir? Happy to see you. Ari, Ugly Perfection. Doesn't tell me all your names. Verkanali, Alex Uribe, 99. What's up, Bill Helton? Give me a number one in the chat. I appreciate you guys. How many of you guys coming out to Accelerator Camp this spring? WSG. I don't even know what that acronym means. That's how old I am. Funny story. I had a client. I do a lot of business coaching. I do a lot of grappling coaching, and I had this business coaching client, and he's trying to start a professional security company. And man, he was giving me a hard time, like grilling me and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, dude, I have bought and sold companies. Like, I did this. I created a fitness thing. I started the whole revivification of an entire combat sport, dude. Like, I'm a pioneer in all this stuff and rattling off a master's degree in financial mathematics. And he's like, how old are you? And I'm like, I'm 50. I'm going to be 51. He's like, dude, I thought you were 28. That's why he was giving me a hard time, because he's like an ageist. But anyway, hope you guys are doing good. I am actually 50 years old. Yes, whatever. I don't know if that matters or not. But today I wanted to talk about virality, going viral. And what does that mean? And how do you do it? And, how do you do it tastefully? How do you do it and win without getting canceled? Love to hear all you guys' perspective on that. In particular, I want to really bring up Dana White. The title of the talk, When Dana White, Post Malone, and a T-Rex Crashed the Super Bowl. Lessons in Viral Genius. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about this today. Have you seen this ad, right? So again, I'm Jake, Coach Jake Shannon, founder of Scientific Wrestling. Some of you guys might know me best through, some of you might know me as the inventor of the Mace Bell and the modern Mace fitness movement. You might know me through finance, working in investment banking and mortgage banking and financial software. I don't know. You might know me through sales training. You might know me as being a 10X business coach. I don't know. Vanilla Gorilla, KO everyone you fight, you'll go viral. Yeah, that'll do it. I mean, I guess that would help. So I just really wanted to dive today into, I love business and I love MMA. I love sports, but in particular MMA. And I wanted to show you how you could sell. RENXD, yo, how can I go into the MMA in a poor country? Move. You're gonna have to move, right? I mean, dude, like you could see Ngannou and these other guys did it, but they didn't do it there. You got to figure out how to get where the action is. That's location. Still very, very important. So today we're tackling a phenomenon that is not just shaking the world of sports and entertainment, but also rewriting the playbook on viral marketing and brand engagement, honestly. It's very interesting, right? So we're going to talk about using the excitement of MMA. John Wick Jr., how do you do it in general? Do what, sir? I missed the first question, I think. I don't know. Brown Boy, have I taken weed? I have taken lots of weed, but I don't recommend it. Smoked a lot of weed in my youth. Smoked a lot of weed when I first moved to Colorado in 2017. As far as drugs go, I guess that's a good drug. It's better than alcohol and the other stuff. But it's still a drug. It still messes with your mind, kills your motivation. It makes you lazy. I don't know how else to say it. If you want a drug that's going to be a productivity drug, I recommend caffeine. I like caffeine a lot now, just because I got a big mission and a lot of stuff to do. I don't know if that helps you. Guys, hit me up in the chat. You got any questions? But I want to talk. Have you guys seen this yet? This ad with Dana White, the T-Rex, Post Malone? You know what I'm talking about, right? This is Bud Light trying to backtrack from the disaster that cost them billions. This DEI, World Economic Forum, bull crap thing where they put the the transsexual. I don't know, what is that, like an influencer? Or I don't even know. Um, Mulroney or Dylan Mulroney or whatever their name was, Mulvaney. Do you know who I'm talking about? And they just like totally destroyed them. Like they lost billions of dollars like in a week. The same nonsense that happened with Target trying to push this DEI nonsense. These top down bankers trying to control anything. Pris Grace says, haven't seen it. Brown Boy says, same as at caffeine. Yeah, I guess. I don't know, man. I'm not quite sure what your question was. But yeah, it's better to, if you could do without any kind of chemicals, man. It's probably the best. That then you're like not dependent on anything and getting it done. I got to be honest. I am 51, so caffeine really does help me at this stage. I don't quite have it. Pris Grace says, but I agree, it's a fine line to walk. So here's the thing: to get their brand back, they've had to align them. Bud Light has had to go the opposite direction of the Mulroney or whatever their name is. The are they a transvestite or a transsexual? I don't even know. But all I know is it destroyed Bud because it just was against what the target audience. I mean, you could try to push this stuff down people's throats, but I mean, you got to have maybe a little more subtlety or a slower build. RENXD. I mean, I'm very good, but I can't get out of the country. Well, best known beats best every time. You can look at Conor McGregor as proof of that. You got to get to be known. You got to figure that out. So this is something that pro wrestling and pro wrestlers have figured out. Like, learn how to promote, learn how to cut a promo, learn the business so you can figure it out. But you're not going to do it in a poor country where nobody knows you. It's just not going to happen. You got to get seen by the right people. Now, let's talk about this, because I haven't even seen the commercial yet either, but I see it all buzzing. Why is this working now? Well, first of all, everybody's paying attention to Bud Light after this major faux pas that they made. So they went to what they felt would be the opposite direction and what their audience really likes, and that is MMA. For me, I love that because, I have a couple companies that are adjacent to MMA. And so to see Dana White step on, cool. Post Malone, I mean, yeah, they've got to go for that edgy kind of rock and roll tattooed face vibe. If you're going to go for a body modification person, it might not be somebody that did gender reassignment surgery body modifications. It might be just tattoos on the face, piercings. That might be a better way to go. Now, the funny thing is had somebody like Post Malone, tattoos on the face, been brought out in the 80s, that might have tanked Bud Light back then too. RENXD. Kind of sad, honestly. A lot of talents in my country. Sad or not sad, dude? Like, what my mother, who's 80 years old, God bless her, still living, did her yoga this morning. But what she grew up on a farm, and she used to tell me you could shit in one hand and wish in the other and see which one fills up. So whether it's sad or not, whether you got problems, you got to figure out how to work around it and make your dreams happen regardless, right? So this strange juxtaposition, which, it's smart for Bud to partner with Dana White, although Dana White's not without controversy. Now, he's not like on the level of McMahon pooping on people's head during a threesome, which is like gross and ridiculous. I mean, this guy's like 78 years old. Like, what the hell? Dude, do you guys know who Bobcat Goldthwait, that comedian? He had this special years ago when I was a kid. It was in the 80s. And he said something like, he was making a joke about Elvis. He's like, man, that guy is so rich, he didn't need to do drugs. He could be like, would you put another midget in the blender for me? I mean, I guess that is what happens when you get so ridiculously rich and everything you want. You got to get into some weird stuff. I mean, I don't know. But, the whole thing with Dana White and the slap of the wife, that blew over. So, you got to understand that these things blow over. I mean, remember Mike Tyson went to jail right, on some pretty atrocious charges. And he's been able to turn his brand around and redeem himself as well. So I think that's really what Bud Light is trying to do here. I don't know. Are any of you guys drink Bud Light? I mean, who even drinks Bud Light? I don't even drink beer. So, but I do think it's smart of them to start partnering with UFC. And the thing is they can't probably afford Connor. And with Connor doing his whiskey, he may not really want to put over Budweiser. If somebody's going into the Bevmo or some liquor store and they're making a choice, he probably wants them to go with proper 12 instead of Bud. And he's probably way more expensive. Dana White, though, probably comes pretty cheap. You know, something to consider. Brown Boy, Mike is boss. I don't even know what you're talking about, dude. I got a ball of Fozzie writing in like, I don't even know what that language is. But anyway, so I think it's part, this ad is part shock value, right? Like Dana White's not shocking, and Post Malone's not totally shocking, but putting those two together plus a Tyrannosaurus Rex, that's pretty shocking. That will help you go viral. That's like part of what I tried to do with the mace. Now, it went viral before viral was even a name. So I didn't have a marketing budget for the mace. I just had this great idea, really knew how to sell and pitch, put it together, pitched it to the manufacturers. They're like, let's go. There's a great idea. Put it out on the market. And I was like, well, shoot, now I've got to get this thing implemented. Nobody even knows how to use it. Thank God YouTube was around. So, I actually told people, hey, back then a kettlebell certification, and maybe they're still like this, I don't know, was going for like $4,000 or $5,000 from Dragon Door. Remember that with Pavel Tatselin? They were charging like $5,000 on how to swing a kettlebell. Crazy. People paid it too. So I said, listen, you could get certified on this. I built up the same kind of hype, and I said, you can do it for free. But I know you got to pay me, just like this is what Carl Gotch did to me. You've got to pay me in work. But what I decided to do was they had to post the video on YouTube. And it was a series of videos of them doing stuff and creating new programs and doing the traditional kind of God at work, and then submit that. But what ended up happening, and I was like, if you do that and you send it to me and it's okay, you get certified as a mace bell mauler is what the branding that I came up with back then. Anyway, it went viral. Everybody inundated YouTube with all these mace bell videos to get their certification, and boom, all of a sudden there was all this mace bell content on the web. Makes sense? So if you can go viral, now it was a lot easier back then. We're talking, this was 2008, 2009. Let's see. I got a bunch of comments that I'm missing. Sorry, guys. Got frozen. Vanilla Gorilla with a bunch of American flags. Thanks, bro. Yay. So you've got to, what you want to do, like what they did with this Bud Light thing with Dana White, is they just really did it like an unexpected mixture, right? Plus, you got to make it like edgy and a twist. Whisker and Dojo. Whisker and Ojo. What's your favorite thing about jiu-jitsu? Without mentioning wrestling. What's my favorite thing about jiu-jitsu without mentioning wrestling? That's a great question. I think probably my favorite thing about jiu-jitsu is how they've gotten people to start grappling that normally would not have done so. They really made it like a retail thing, kind of like yoga. Does that make sense? Hey, let's see. Parker Midkiff, what's up, man? Going to Regis this Saturday for my senior year. Any advice on mindset? My biggest advice for you is feel the nerves and don't worry about it. Just let it go. Whisker and Dojo says, genuine. Thanks for the genuine answer. Meta Sunny says, what is your name? My name is Jake. So yeah, okay. So to the mindset for the tournament this weekend, said you're going to Regents this Saturday for your senior year. Listen, man, I would just feel the emotions and realize that they're not important. Just let them come and go. I don't know if that helps you, but like you need to just try to stay calm and realize that the second that the whistle starts, all those nerves are going to go away. And all the prep has to be done before that date. There's nothing else you can do. So you either spend enough time and push yourself the right amount, or you'll learn what you need to do better next time. And don't put so much pressure. Have fun. Go have a good time. Recognize it's not going to last forever. You know, one of the hardest things for me was to quit, was to stop doing it, was to medically retire. It was like freaking brutal, man. I was like seriously depressed for probably 5 years. I really officially retired in 2013, man. And it really was rough. I just was like, God dang, I can't wrestle. I can't do the things. So just have fun, take the pressure off. And, you know, this is why you practice at anything. You have to get out there and push yourself as hard as you can in practice without injury so that when you show up, you don't have to think. But just rest assured, when that whistle goes, all the nerves will go because you're going to be present in, you know, executing and letting your body do what you've trained it to do. I don't know if that helps you, but I hope it does. So I'm curious, guys, you know, on this whole Bud Light thing. What do you think? Like, you know, the shock value thing has always played well for the most part. Sometimes it fizzles out. Like I think like the Mulvaney, whatever, that did not play out well. Okay. So if you were to create a viral advertisement, given what you know of the world right now, like what do you think would go viral to sell? Like pick anything. Say I'm selling with so and so, and I would make a viral video about what. I'd love to hear you guys' ideas because you know it's gonna get weird. Like I use a lot of AI right now. I've been really enjoying it. I've gotten all kinds of certifications to really begin to understand the boundaries of what it can and can't do and what it will be able to do. And it's interesting to me because, for example, people complain how people are so soft today. Well, soft, okay? The reason why people are soft is because we are given so many things to be comfortable. So, for example, you would be much tougher and harder if you did not have central heating because it would get cold and you'd have to build a fire or have a blanket and you would be tougher that way, but wouldn't be very comfortable. You would probably be tougher if you had no shelter whatsoever. It could kill you in some parts of the country, right? That's the funny thing about all these global warming people. I mean, I'm agnostic. I'm like, dude, I know enough science, and I think everybody's been hoodwinked by big business science and big government science in the last 5 years that they have a healthy skepticism of it too. But dude, I saw a statistic, man. You're more people die from cold than they do from heat, right? So yeah, you'd be a lot tougher, but do you want to be, right? Like, I mean, these are the questions that we have to ask ourselves. Well, the only thing that I could see that might be a downside on AI is that people are going to get real lazy in their thinking because they have the AI do it for them. So like memory skills, like you don't have to remember anything because everything is digitally stored on your phone or on a computer. So you only have to remember like a password or whatever, but the rest of it is just stored. Even images, videos of moments, you don't have to remember them. Back in the day, like Irish monks had to memorize vast amounts of data. To this day, if you want to become a part of the Freemasons, I'm a master Mason. I did all 3 degrees. Dude, there's so much memorization involved. It is absolutely nuts. Okay. But that's because that's how it used to be. So, you know, the AI, the future of advertising, it might get a little lazy. And those who stay outside of it or figure out how to remain creative and not let it weaken you. I hate to use that word because, you know, it also implies that like I study the history of fighting, right? Because of the catch can thing going all the way back and having written books and, you know, bestsellers and stuff on the subject. I do think today's athletes would most likely beat, I'm saying 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10 matches would beat the guys from the old days. But I do think the old guys would probably be tougher, more inoculated against stress and whatnot, calloused hands, that kind of thing. What the advantage is the information. We can train better, have better technique, better strategy. You can learn all the techniques. I mean, I remember when I started, all there were those Gracie Jiu-Jitsu tapes with Hoist and Hori on. And then you got the Henzo and Craig Kukuk videos, and that was all you had. Dude, now you go and you can get everything at BJJ Fanatics. You can go on the internet for free, YouTube and Instagram and all that. So, there's so much more knowledge out there. And this is what I found early. This is why I really called it scientific wrestling, or part of the reason. There's a lot of reasons. But I found that, even though I wasn't the greatest athlete, there's guys that I had always pretty good conditioning, but a lot more technical guys, a lot more stronger guys, faster guys. But what a lot of them didn't do is they didn't have the same knowledge, and that I could trick them. It was strategy and whatnot. Whisker and Dojo. I didn't know you could be a master mason and agnostic. The whole grand architect thing. Maybe you're still wrestling. No, I'm not agnostic. I am a agnostic when it comes to any particular one religion. But I do believe in a higher power. For lack of a better term, I believe in magic. I do think there are things bigger than us, and I do think that there is a grand architect somewhere. But I'm more in the lines of like, we're in a simulation, that kind of thing. So hope that answers your question. But so I'm curious, are any of you people out there business people? And that's kind of a trick question, because if you're making some money somewhere, you're a business person. You just may not really appreciate it. And you may not have really gotten that. It's like public school. It's like a total waste of time. They're not actually teaching you things that are relevant or important. It's just nonsense, things that make you a better slave, person that just keeps complying and doing whatever you're told in a command and control structure. I mean, schools look more like a prison every day. But, there are these really profound parallels between sports and business. And every once in a while we get something like this where it's thrown in our face, like the business of promotion. So how is Bud Light using MMA? And how is MMA using Bud Light? And maybe there's some deeper connections. Maybe there's a business deal too, where Bud Light's going to provide all the booze at the events at a super discount if Dana does all this. I mean, I'd love to see the terms of these agreements. But anyway, guys, I really appreciate you. I do got to jump. I got a client here. I've got to help out a client in New York, doing a lot of cool things, trying to make some more money. If I can help you guys, if I can help you keep accountable, if I can help you with some brainstorming, check me out on LinkedIn. Are you guys any of you guys on LinkedIn? I stream on LinkedIn, so some people are watching this on that platform. Also on Twitter, on Twitch, on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all that. All right, guys. Well, nothing much more to add today. If you see the ad, think of me, and then start thinking about, like, how would you do a viral ad? I mean, I told you how I did mine back in the day, and I still try to do it today. I'm so old school. I hate to pay for advertising. I had to finally come around to the fact that you got to do it. But, like, I was able to grow the Scientific Wrestling Instagram, like over 120,000 followers within 10 months, and very little, like 1% paid ads. Those followers come from paid ads, like 1%. It's like tiny. So I do enjoy that kind of guerrilla marketing game a lot. If you got tricks, you got techniques, DM me. I'd love to hear them. Maybe we could talk about it on the podcast. Also curious, how do you guys feel about interviews? When I had my old radio show, Mental Self-Defense Radio, years ago on K-Talk, AM 650, it was primarily just I would do interviews, and I enjoy that a lot. Curious who you guys would love to have on the show, and Obviously you guys would be able to get on and converse with them and whatnot. All right, guys, I'm going to hit it. Appreciate you. DM me. Show up in the room. We got the coachingcatch.com accelerator camps coming up. Got them in DC coming. That's the first one coming. So March, I think that's March 9th, whatever that weekend. You got Wade Chalice, Guinness record holder for the most wins and pins in all wrestling, most wins over international champions, most wins over national champions, 5 combat sport All-American, judo, sambo, freestyle, folk style, Greco-Roman. Then scientific wrestling elite coach Jesse Perez is going to be there as well. He's a fan favorite. Everybody loves going to a camp with Jesse. The week prior, I'm going to be in Phoenix doing a seminar. I rarely do seminars because I like to teach long. I feel like we need to run a longer practice. I like camps. But I'm doing a quick and dirty seminar on the Nelsons. I'm going to be in Phoenix at Black Flag at our affiliate out there. It's actually our #1 affiliate under elite coach, scientific wrestling elite coach Gil Olivas. So come on out, guys. I'd love to see you. Coachingcatch.com. I think you got to go over to blackflagsubmissionco.com to get booked for the seminar on Nelson's I'm doing as a one-off. I've never done it before. I may never do it again as a follow-up to my best-selling Wrestling Fanatics DVD on the Nelson holds. So get out there, man. And again, if you know people for Shoot Pro Wrestling, I just updated the page. Go to shootprowrestling.com. We've got all the matches from the 3 shows, tag teams, triple threats, or well, I guess they're triple shoots, triple threat in WWE, and singles matches, all listed out there so you guys could see it. What else? Yeah, I'm looking for distribution partners, broadcasting and production partners, also capital partners. Go check it out, man. We've got one hell of a team. We're hell bent on blowing up, man. It's going to happen. This is a concept that preluded this merger or this acquisition, this M&A deal with Endeavor, right? Physical movement coaching. What kind of health and wellness practices do you use? Stretching, breathing, lifting, sauna, ice bath. If you go to my personal Instagram, I post it all the time. I do go to Ask Coach Jake, at Ask Coach Jake. Follow me on Instagram. And I do a couple of things every day. So I'm jacked. Like, I'm a cancer survivor. I survived gangrene poisoning, broken neck, strokes, carotid dissection, huge, massive blood clot known as a DVT. I've had health issues, right? My whole life that I've beaten and overcome, man. I'm hard to kill. So I have a very specific protocol that I do. So the gist of it, the majority of it is I go to this franchise. I don't own it. I don't have any money in it, but I love it. It's called Hotworks. I don't know if you've seen them near you. And basically, I go in and I do 15 minutes on a rowing machine. I do 15 minutes on an elliptical, so a half hour, and another 15 on the cycle, 45 minutes. Then I jump over and I do calisthenics, and I do all of that. So it's, what is that? 40 minutes plus 40, 85 minutes, and it's in a sauna that I crank up to over 130 degrees Fahrenheit. 85 minutes in a sauna. I do that minimum 3 days a week, okay? And every day, whether it's in the sauna or when I first wake up in the morning, I bust out 50 push-ups, 200 sit-ups, and 100 squats. That's my protocol. When I do my push-ups, I wear a 15-pound weight on my head to help with my atrophy in my neck from carotid dissections and radiation treatment, every other traumatic thing that's happened to me. So I hope that helps. I also have a eating regimen. I do intermittent fasting. I try to eat 1 meal a day. I had somebody say I looked like I was 28 and I'm 51. So I don't know, part of it's having a baby face, but I am very serious about my health and whatnot. Physical movement coaching. All the exercises are in a sauna. Wow, I've seen Hotworks, didn't know what it was. Yeah, it's a normal sauna and an infrared sauna. So you get all the benefits of a sauna, but also of the red light therapy. That's why I like it, because it's very efficient for me. And, when I had to quit grappling and wrestling, I couldn't find something that was as rigorous except yoga, right? Because I couldn't do the physical, I couldn't actually grapple anymore because of my injuries. So I found yoga, but then yoga got politicized during all this COVID bullshit, and they made you wear a mask. It was like getting waterboarded, like trying to breathe through a wet mask while you're doing yoga. It was like stupid. So the thing is these hot works have these individual pods that you can go in. It's COVID proof. Plus the heat kills any of it's hotter than what a virus can live or bacteria. So, or most of them anyway. I really like that. I am trying to get into cold plunges. So I'll take cold showers, but sometimes it's just hard to squeeze it all in. What I like to do is take a 5-minute cold shower before the sauna. But I'm not as consistent with that. I also, my diet is pretty standard and straightforward. I'm not like a hardcore anything, but I do try to reduce processed foods. So I cook a lot on my own, but I'll have yogurts in the morning, lots of fluids, lots of coffee, and then try to stay away from processed foods, flours, things of that nature. So I don't know if that helps. I had another question up here that I missed, and I'm so sorry I was bullshitting too much. Scroll. Some favorite takedown. My favorite takedown is an arm drag into a single and then run the pipe. In terms of favorite, like, that just worked for me on anybody. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I had that one move that no matter how good you were, if I kept working it and had a good defense, I could eventually get that move. That was the move. I love that move. And my single leg looked a little bit more like a high crotch almost, but it's this trick that Carl Gotch had shown me that was really, really slick that I liked. Vanilla Gorilla, fasting is the single greatest thing you can do. Yeah, I'm trying to get to where at the beginning of every month I do a 3-day water fast. I started New Year's. I have still not done it this month. So I'm trying to get my February fast on for 3 days. Yeah, thanks for reminding me that. I'll probably have to get on that here pretty soon. Yeah, what else is going on? Dude, if I can help you with your business, man, I'm like, I like to help people do better. And my expertise, my experience, my successes have come in wrestling and in business, right? In terms of really dedicating myself. We're blowing up our software company, physical movement coaching. Does Khabib use any catch in his grappling? Now, that face lock that he used on Conor McGregor, very catch wrestling. Would he know it by that name? Maybe not. I don't know. Does Khabib know that Sambo credits catch wrestling with leg locks? I don't know if he would know to call them that, but Khabib is a freestyle and Sambo kind of guy. Both of them are heavily influenced by catch. In fact, freestyle is directly descendant of catch. So, I mean, it's like a hard thing because would he say that? I don't think he would even know. Maybe he knows. I don't know. But the facts suggest yes. I don't know if that helps you at all. All right, guys. Any other questions in closing? Because otherwise, I got to get to it. I got to go start helping some people. I really always appreciate you guys. Radio Weezer sent a request to be in my live video. I'm so sorry, Radio Weezer, but because this streams out to all these other platforms, you're doing that on my Ask Coach Jake Instagram, but it won't show up for everybody else. So physical movement coaching, thanks for your time. Hey, dude, happy to help. Have you, by the way, just based off the name, physical movement coaching, have you done any mace work yet? Have you done any physical culture from India, meaning, the Dons or Bathaks, the Hindu push-ups, the Hindu squats, Malakam, which is kind of looks like pole dancing, but with Indian wrestlers. I'm particular. I've gotten very smitten with Indian physical culture, mostly because of the influence of my mentor Carl I went really deep down that rabbit hole. There's some fascinating stuff. That's why I went into yoga when I could no longer wrestle anymore, because I don't know how. There's David Gordon White is a really great Oxford academic, and he's done all this great work on the history of yoga. And basically, the yoga that we see today, when the hot moms are in their leotards in the hot room or whatever, all of that is actually real yoga. Was just meditative mostly. It was asana. It was these positions for sitting meditation. But it was because of the British occupation of India and that colonialism, where they basically had to sell Indian culture now that they had kind of colonized this new country. And so to get adoption, they created yoga out of thin air into this new thing. They used the old name. So it had all the philosophical stuff from Patanjali and whatnot. And, some of these postures and the breathing from Adi Yoga, Shiva, and, Sri Ram, all that kind of stuff. But they put a hybrid between the Hindu wrestling from the Akharas with British military calisthenics and the spiritualism, and they merged it. It was so this yoga that everybody thinks is ancient is actually pretty new, and a lot of it's based on wrestling. So Dand is the Hindu push-up. Well, Dandasana is upward dog, right? Which is the upward part, and then you go into the downward and you do the push-up, right? Well, that's just a dumbed down version of the wrestler's workout. All right, guys, appreciate you. Yeah, physical movement. I think you're up there at Waves. Said he had physical movement coaching. No, I haven't, but I see it and I want to try it. Well, get at it, man. Go find somebody to show you how to do it. Go get a mace. There's a ton of instructional. It takes a couple, may take an hour to really get quote unquote the swing of things, but it's super fun and it's way more engaging than just robotic linear movement. The circular training is really nice. So not quite circular, more kind of elliptical, but non-linear. Maybe that's a better word, non-linear. Anyway, appreciate you guys. Hit me up in the DMs. You can always message me. You can find me at scientificwrestling.com. Again, check out the new page, shootprowrestling.com. We're getting that updated. Always making improvements on that, man. That site's been up since 2005. So coming up on 20 years of just the site. The company's been around since 2003, so over 20 years. We used to just have a page, but that membership site, we were one of the first to do a membership website too, where you actually had to pay to get behind the gate. Anyway, appreciate the heck out of you guys. If I can be of service to you, I'm always here. And then hit me in the DMs. Same with your business stuff. Right now, a lot of stuff happening in the 10X community. We got GrowthCon coming up, man. I'm going to be there. A lot of my clients are going to be there. So cool. Last year, Tom Brady, Dana White, Stephen Smith, Jesse Itzler. I mean, it was really, really cool. Year before that, he brought in Trump. Plus, you get to see Grant all the time and Elena and all that. You can, yeah. If you want tickets, man, I can hook you up with the tickets. Let's go. Just message me, man. Let's do big things. Let's blow up, right? You know that, like, Fourth Turning, that book, 2028 is when all the awful stuff ends. 2028 is when, like, the amazing times begin. And we know that right now they're going to be lowering interest rates. Cash is going to start flowing here because it's an election year. They think you're idiots. Every election year, somehow gas prices go down and money gets cheap. And they act like you're not manipulated. Guys, you got to get smart on this stuff. And the thing is, you could try to do all you want. I was stupid in my 30s. I wasted all this time. All I got was death threats against my family and stuff. Tried to get involved in politics. It's just so corrupt and dirty and gross. You can't do anything. The only way you can find freedom, what is freedom? Freedom's just options. The option to do more different things is through pursuing wealth. I mean, it's like the guy who was asking me, he's in a poor country and he's very good at MMA. it takes money, dude. You got to figure this out. Vanilla Gorilla 2005. Trump, he says. Listen, I ain't a Trump humper. That guy's a moron. He's just less of a moron than Joe Biden. Like, yeah, quite significantly. But, dude, we still had lockdowns and all that under Trump. Okay, Operation Warp Speed. The guy's he's not good enough, man. The only one that actually impresses me, I'd love to see RFK and Rand Paul on the same card. Dude, I don't vote because I think voting is stupid. I know everybody hates that. Like, oh, you gotta vote. It's important. It ain't important, dude. Never been decided by one person. We know that there's vote fraud. It's like it's a waste of time, dude. It's just another illusion that you have any kind of control. The only thing you can do, man, you've got to try to get yourself free from the rat race, free from paying the taxes legally because you'll go to prison. So you got to be smart about it. You know, the problem is that I think that, you know, the United States is an amazing country, has amazing ideals. I love all the ideals of America, even though they haven't really delivered on a lot of them. But I love the ideals. I love the idea of the American dream. You've got to fight for that. Nobody's going to give it to you, dude. You got to fight your ass off. And it's going to be 10 times harder than you think. And you got to do it anyway. I'm here to help you. That's why I coach. I coach people in MMA. I coach people in business. That's why, because that's what it's going to take. You got to be able to defend yourself. You got to be able to stay in shape, have a sport. You got to figure out how to make money, and you got to figure out how to be valuable to other people. That's my opinion. That's what I'm good at. That's what I spent the last 50 years coming to this point. And if I can help you, I will. I really will.